This is going to be our CrossFit mini-series where we go through different injuries that we see from CrossFitters and how we handle them and different reasons for having that issue. So the first one we're going to talk about coming up is low back pain. Now, low back pain you can get for a multitude of different reasons when we're lifting or when we're doing CrossFit. So we're going to go through those different scenarios, and one in particular that we're going to talk about is that rib flare. When we're letting those ribs kind of kick out, we're not engaging through our core, and we're putting a little extra stress through our back. So we're going to go through different exercises, different techniques, different mobility to help prevent these things. And the first one we're going to end up talking about is low back pain. So as we go through the weeks, we'll go through different exercises to help with that and the different scenarios that we see when people come in that can cause some of that low back pain. And CrossFit rib flare is one of the reasons that we get low back pain. So rib flare, as you come up, your ribs tend to flare up, you arch through your back, you lose your tension through your core. One of the exercises that we like to use here is a weighted dying bug. Go ahead, Tom, grab that weight. He's gonna push that weight straight up to the ceiling. I'm gonna put my hand underneath his back. He's gonna smush my hand into the floor, trying to maintain my hand down on the floor, keeping his core nice and snug. He's gonna reach up towards his head and then back up. He's gonna stop where he feels like he's losing that pressure on my hand and then back up. Good. And up. And this exercise is a version of a dying bug, so you can make it a little bit easier or you can make it harder, but it's one way that we like to help control rib flare. Another reason some CrossFitters get low back pain is because they're not utilizing the muscles at the inside of their thigh as well as they could. So to get out of the bottom of the squat or a deep squat position, we really need to emphasize using our adductors, which are those muscles on the inner thigh. So an exercise that we really like for this is called the Copenhagen. Tom's going to do a modified version here. So one leg up on a bench. The lower leg is flat on the bench. He's going to raise his hips up towards the ceiling, squeeze his butt to get in line, shoulder, hips to knees. Bottom leg comes off the ground, and we're going to hold there, trying to maintain that position. That's going to engage both of the inner thighs on both sides, which is going to help improve our low back pain. Another reason we see low back pain in CrossFitters is their lack of ability to use the inside of their hip. So getting that ball to drop in, rotating in, which is what we need with squats. So here, Tom's going to do a half knee on an adductor stretch. So he's got one leg out to the side, that foot is flat, toe pointing forward, and he's just going to drop his hips back to get a stretch on the inside of that leg. So you get one more, and then back up, and then you can load this with a kettlebell. So going up, loaded, same thing, sitting back, and then back up. And we like to use this, again, to gain access to the inside part of that hip to help with low back pain. Another reason for low back pain in CrossFitters is actually hip flexor strength. So a lot of times when we get to the bottom of our squat, we feel like our hip flexors are tight, when in actuality, they need to be a little bit stronger to help, right? So here we've got Tom on his back. He's got a band around his feet. He's gonna march one leg up. There you go. We're gonna hold that there to engage through those hip flexors, and then we're gonna switch. Now Tom's doing this version on his back. He needs to engage his core. You can also do this in standing, or you can do it in a plank position.